Okay guys, I'm testing something new with my YouTube channel. Basically, I will start diving directly into what I will be showing you because I want to start outputting content more frequently. By the way, if you're new to this channel, I help people make money with AI and automation systems. In this video, I will show you a make script that does batch calling because it was requested by many people. Before I continue, I think it's important to talk about the FCC rule, this new rule that put a stop to unwanted robocalls. I'll put the link in the description about exactly what this rule entails. But you can see here in the website of the FCC that in order to make robocalls, you need to obtain written consent from the people. So it can be on paper or through electronic means, including website forms, telephone key press, before it may make a pre-recorded telemarketing call to like homes or wireless phone numbers. So just keep that in mind in case you're trying to do that in the US and you don't want to get sued, basically. That being said, let's start the tutorial. So unlike my previous videos, I will make a step-by-step tutorial so that you will be able to reproduce exactly what I will be showing you if you follow everything. And also the make blueprint will be available in my resource page, so feel free to download it if you want to get it from there and import it into your make.com account. Before we get started, make sure that you create a Google Sheet with these exact columns as well as 2 rows basically, or it can be any number of rows. Basically just make sure to have like 2 or 3 rows in this Google Sheet so that you make sure that everything is working well. Basically, the bot that we will be building is an appointment reminder, and of course every time we will be calling someone, many things will change. His first name, the last name, the title, the appointment date, the hour, as well as the doctor that this person will be seeing. So that's why every time we make a call, we want the prompt to be unique, to have every time unique information about each patient that we are calling. So first what we want to do is to search rows in Google Sheets. Basically we want to get all the rows that are present in our Google Sheet. In my sheet I have 2 rows, so I want to retrieve all of them. But of course for your sheet, if you have 1,000 rows or 5,000 rows, you want to retrieve all of them. So you want to click here and then you want to look for Google Sheets. So you click on it and then you click on search rows. So here you just have to delete this module so that Google Sheets will start being the first module to run. Here you select the Google Sheet that you just created. You select the sheet name. Since our sheet contains headers, you should put yes here. So basically we want to retrieve all the rows that contain something, which means we want to retrieve everything that does not equal nothing, basically. I know it might be confusing, but just follow along, and if you think about it, it will be super logical. So here basically we can choose any column, but I just chose the column number. And then here you select not equal to, and then here we should select empty string, because if you just let it empty, it will not work. So every time we need to explicitly tell make.com that we want nothing, and by doing that you need to input empty string. And in order to do that you need to click here and then to click on this button. You let everything else empty, then you click on OK. Now the next module that we want is an aggregator, because we want to combine the arrays, basically the collection of rows, into one single array. And the way to do that is through an aggregator, basically. It is a make.com module that is available here. And then you click here. So basically you let those 2 fields as they are. And then here we want to aggregate over all the columns. So just select those columns. And then select OK. Basically, what happens after this aggregator is that whatever the number of rows that we retrieve here, for example, if we retrieve 5 rows, here everything that will happen afterwards will happen 5 times. So that's why we need this aggregator. So while the aggregator combines all elements of a collection into one array, we want another module called iterator so that we can retrieve each element, which means we want to retrieve every single row one by one and do some stuff with that row. For our case, it will be calling every single patient, and in order to do that, we need to use the iterator. So basically you click here and then you click there. The array that we will be using is the previous one, so you just click here and then OK. Then what happens next, we'll be actually using ChatGPT. Why? Because here the appointment date is in the format month, date, then year. And we don't want, our bot to say, hey, you have your appointment on 3/10/2024, or like you have your appointment on 4/10/2024, right? We want the bot to say, you have your appointment on the 10th of March 2024, which means we need some step, some reasoning engine, ChatGPT, that will convert this format into a more human sounding format. So that's why we need ChatGPT basically. So here it will be create a completion. You make sure to connect your account here, and then for the model I will just be using 3.5 turbo. For the messages here I will just be using user, and then here for the prompt I wrote something like I will give you a date in this format and so on, and then I wrote your task is to convert this date in basically a good format, output the results only, nothing else. And then of course I gave to ChatGPT some few examples. For example, 3/10/2024 becomes the 10th of March 2024. And then at the end I say, here is the input date that you should convert. And then here I select appointment date. So you see when I put my mouse over there, this circle here keeps popping. So this is just a way for Meg to tell you it's actually this data that you will be using from here basically. And then you click OK. We want to create a JSON that will serve as the body for our request to Blend AI API. So you click here, then you write JSON, you click there, then create JSON. You click on add. Here you can name it whatever you want, but just in order to make your account more organized, I advise you to always keep good names for everything that you create basically. I called it Blend AI body data. So the parameters that we have, as usual, we have two required parameters. So the phone number that we'll be calling, as well as the task. And we have some other optional parameters that I always like to use. The first one is reduce latency, and the second one is wait for greeting. So let's start adding them. So the first one, as we said, is phone number. Its type is text and it is required, so you should click here. The second parameter is the task. The type is text and it is also required. Then I like to add a third parameter, reduce latency. However, this one is a boolean because it either takes the value of true or false. So here you should click here and then you should click boolean. So you see here you have yes or no, and it is not required, so you just keep it here. And finally, our last parameter is called wait for greeting. It is also a boolean and it is not required. So you just press save. So you see here now we have fields that we can basically fill in. For the phone number, we should start with a plus, because as you've seen here in those numbers, okay, those are hidden numbers because this is my number basically. But you don't have plus in Google Sheets because it is interpreted as a positive number, so Google Sheets will always get rid of that plus. That's why we need to add it basically here. However, we have access to the phone number because of the iterator. So now we just need to press on a number here. And then for the task, I will be using the same prompt that I used in my very first video. However, I will change some stuff in order to make the prompt unique for every single patient, so that the bot will be using the first name, the last name, and everything for every single patient. So here I wrote the exact same beginning of the prompt, but now we'll start customizing the prompt to include the name, the first name, the last name, the title of the patient, and everything else. So now I wrote the patient's name you will be talking to is, and then here you start selecting. So it will be first title, so it can be Dr., Mr., and so on, and then space, and then first name, and then space, and then last name. Okay, and then here I wrote explicitly his first name is, and then I select F name. Okay, and his last name is, and then here I select last name. By the way, the type of information that you see here are just the column names basically of your sheet. So if you decide to have different column names, you will definitely have a different information, basically like type of information here. So just make sure that everything is corresponding well. And then here I wrote doctor he will be seeing is doctor, and then I put here the doctor, and then I added some more information. And then here I write the date of his appointment is, and then we should use the output from ChatGPT, and the output will always be in a message content. So you just click here, and the time of his appointment is appointment hour. So the rest of the prompt that I wrote is just, simulating examples of conversations, but I make sure that every time the bot addresses the patient with the title, first name, and last name, so that every time the conversation will be custom for each patient. Feel free to read the prompt when you will download the blueprints, basically. So after you're done with the prompt, here we should say yes for reduce latency and yes for wait for greeting. Then you click OK. Then the step after this is to make the actual call to Blend AI to actually basically call that number. And this can be done with the HTTP module. So you click here, and then you look for HTTP. You select HTTP here, and then you click on make a request. The URL we'll be using is the one for Blend. The method will be a post. Then the header is used to authenticate. So which means for the name you should write authorization, and then for the value you should write your Blend AI API key. For the body type we'll select raw. For the content type we'll select JSON, and then for the request content we'll just be using the JSON that we just created. Then you click on OK. So basically if you have 10 numbers in your Google Sheet, this part here will be repeated 10 times. And basically when I called myself multiple times, I wanted to have like a small break between every single time I call myself. That's why I always like to use this sleep module in make.com. It is used, to just wait for some time before, doing something additional. Which means here we should add another module called sleep. It is contained in this tools modules, and then you click on sleep. Here you add it all the way to the end, and here basically you choose the delay in terms of seconds. For demo purposes you can choose, for example, 60, just the time to wait for the call to arrive and to have your conversation with the bot before the second call starts. But then if you want to start calling real people and do a batch calling for a real use case, I still advise you to add some delay here, because you want to be nice with Blend AI infrastructure. You don't want to put too much pressure on their infrastructure. So I would advise you to put 15 seconds or like 10 seconds between each call. Here for our demo I just wrote 60 seconds. Then you press OK. There you go, there you have the make.com blueprint to make batch calls. So now I will be calling myself twice. The first time the bot should, address me as Mr. Jamie Fox with an appointment date of like the 10th of March 2024 at 2 p.m. and I will be seeing Dr. Hawkins. The second time I will be receiving the call, I should be addressed by Dr. Bruno Mars with an appointment of the 10th of April 2024 with an appointment hour at 10 a.m. and I should be seeing Dr. Lubiano. So let's run now the make automation. Okay, I had to stop actually the run because I didn't have any connection on my phone, so I will try again. Now we see that the call has been successfully queued, so I should be receiving a call. Yep. Hello.
Hello, is this Mr. Jamie Fox?
Yes, this is Jamie Fox, yeah.
Hi Jamie, this is Alex from Nutriva Health. I'm calling to check about your upcoming appointment with Dr. Hawkins on March 10th at 2 p.m. Can you confirm if you'll be there?
Yes, I confirm, I will be there indeed.
Great, thank you for confirming, Jamie. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, bye-bye. So the first call worked because I was addressed by Mr. Jamie Fox. Now you see the second one is about to be launched. Yeah, it was launched, so I should be receiving it. Hello.
Dr. Bruno Mars?
Yes, this is Dr. Bruno Mars.
Hi Dr. Mars, this is Alex from Nutriva Health. I'm calling to check about your appointment on the 10th of April 2024 at 10 a.m. Can you please confirm if you'll be able to make it?
Yes, I will be able to make it. Can you please remind me which doctor I will be seeing?
Great, thank you for confirming, Dr. Mars. Your appointment is with Dr. Lubiano on the 10th of April at 10 a.m. I'm glad we were able to confirm and I appreciate you taking the time. Please let me know if you need anything else.
No, I'm fine. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okay, so you see now that both of the calls worked. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now guys, I want to also show you a more realistic scenario where in your Google Sheet you will have an extra column where here you have a checkbox that says whether your lead has agreed to be called by a robot, basically. So basically we want to go over all the rows. However, we want to call only the people that has agreed, to receive such calls. So what you can do is that for the same Google Sheet, you will just add another sheet here, and then you will add an extra column has agreed. And then for each, a row, you will add a checkbox. You can do that, by clicking insert, then tick box. Here I added an extra row, a third row, but I checked only the second one. So normally the bot should call only once. And that's what we'll be verifying basically. So basically what you can do, you will just take, the make scenario that we just made, and then click here and then clone. You name it whatever you want. So first in the Google Sheets, you will click here, and then instead of selecting sheet 1, you will select the second sheet. Then you will click on OK. Then here for the array aggregator, we will use all the columns, but we'll of course add this extra column that we just added, has agreed, and then you select OK. And then here at the beginning of the loop, we want to check if the lead has agreed or not. So a way to do that is to click here and then to click on set up a filter. You can write whatever label you want. So I will write here if has agreed to robocall. And then the condition is that if the colon, has agreed equal to, and then here true. And why do we write true? It's because the values, of those checkboxes are either true or false. And that's actually what you can see here. But if we simply write true, it will not work. So we need to convert, this value to text basically. So we'll be using a make function. It is called toString. And then here we'll write true. And then we click on OK. So you see now we have this new condition. So I will launch the make.com automation again, and you will see that everything after the iterator will run only once, and then when the bot will be calling me, the bot will be addressing me by Dr. Bruno Mars, and with those informations basically that you see here. So I will run the automation now. Hello?
Hello, is this Dr. Bruno Mars?
Yes, yes, this is Dr. Bruno Mars.
Hi, Dr. Mars. This is Alex from Nutriva Health. I'm calling to confirm your appointment for April 10th at 10 a.m. with Dr. Lubiano.
Okay, yes, I will be coming to that appointment.
Great. Thank you for confirming, Dr. Mars. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So you see that it has worked. I only received only one call and I was addressed by indeed Dr. Bruno Mars. Another way to check whether the filter has indeed worked is by clicking here. We can see that for the first element, so it did not pass the condition, which means it did not go through the call. For the second item, which means Dr. Bruno Mars, it actually worked, which means it did the call. And for the third element in our collection, it did not, pass the condition. So it did not make the call basically. So there you have it, guys. You can use this make.com automation and have fun with it. Well, alright, that was it, guys, for this tutorial. I hope you learned something and that you enjoyed. If you have any comments, make sure to write that below. I will be answering you. By the way, with my AI agency, NeuraFirst, we can help you develop any AI or automation system for you. You just have to book a meeting in the Calendly link in the description. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if you have any comments, don't hesitate to put that in the comment section. Peace, guys.